Divorce with a Twist, Episode 11, Parental Guilt Over Divorce. I'm your host, Shandy Arguelles, certified life coach and divorce attorney. A few episodes ago, I talked about guilt after divorce and received several messages from parents who had specific questions when it came to their kids. So let's talk about it. Little kids, grown kids, or somewhere in between, mom guilt. It's a common struggle. And I should say parental guilt because dads do go through the same thing. My hope is that today's episode will give you a different perspective and help ease your struggle. Someone wrote in who was devastated with her apparently very selfish decision to divorce. She wrote, "I chose my peace, but at what price? The guilt I have is for my child." I've heard all of the fears. I failed my kids. I'm going to mess up my kids. Divorce destroys families. Kids of divorced families end up failing school and on drugs. The power of the mind is real, right? But I want to offer you that these thoughts, which are sometimes very strong beliefs that we hold, are simply not true. You did not fail your kids because you divorced. In fact, you may be a perfect example of setting boundaries, an example of what self-love and strength looks like. A kid of divorce is not the indicator of failing school, and it's not a prerequisite to experimenting with drugs. Kids from a healthy divorce can be perfectly adjusted, whereas kids that remain in high conflict environments, whether married or divorced, can struggle. And that's a whole different episode. But I want to offer you that divorce in and of itself is not an indication that your kids will be messed up. So don't waste their childhood worrying and trying to make up for this self-imposed guilt. Remember, guilt is not an outside job. There is nothing out there guilting you or causing you to feel guilty other than your thoughts. The feelings stemming from your guilt, regret, fear, and worry are coming from the stories that you are telling yourself. So if you are feeling guilty, you have the ability to release it. So how can we do this better? You want to change the story you are telling yourself. If you are currently telling yourself, I failed my kids, I'm going to mess up my kids, or divorce destroyed my family, I want you to know this line of thinking is completely optional. An alternative and hopefully believable thought that you can replace one of those with is, we are still a family. How does that feel? We are still a family. Divorce did not destroy your family. That is not taken from you, and you didn't take it from them. You are still a family. There are a million ways to define families, and your family, no matter what it looks like, no matter what the custody schedule is, no matter who has come in and blended family and step-parents, your family falls into that definition. You are still a family. And I know you still want to take care of your family, but guilt is sneaky. It feels bad. So it's natural also that you want to do things to alleviate that guilt. But beware, one of these ways that it plays out is overcompensating for your child's happiness. When we feel guilty and we believe that we are the cause of our child's suffering, we will overcompensate to try to make them happy all the time, no matter what. And that can be to their detriment. Now, you're feeling guilty because of a story you're telling yourself. You're thinking, my kids have been through so much. I caused this, I did this, I failed, or even I have to make up for the time that I'm not with them. You see their pain, you're worried about them, so you swoop in and you try to alleviate their pain through parenting. So you buy the things. You say yes when no is a more appropriate boundary. You relax their structure when structure is exactly what they need. When we want our children to be happy no matter what, we try to remove all of their obstacles. never wanting them to be uncomfortable, which is a disservice to them. But that doesn't work, right? We cannot shield our children from everything uncomfortable or what we perceive to be negative. It doesn't work. If it worked, we would all do it. I would do it as well. So what can we do instead? Well, we can decide that feelings are not a problem, not your feelings or their feelings. It's okay to feel sad, anxious, and overwhelmed. Allow those feelings, sit with them, and be willing to feel them. Allow them to pass. Use your experience as teachable moments with your children. I don't want to be feeling this, but this is where I am. Your kids will learn how to process emotion. They will know that negative emotions are okay. Also, another thought you can try on is replace "I failed my kids" with "I love my kids and I'm willing to do what it takes." You are navigating an emotional life event. You are human and you are learning. Sometimes the decisions we make from love mean that our children don't get what they want. Maybe no is the best answer, or imposing the structure is the most loving answer. You don't always have to get it right, but if you're willing to try, you can't go wrong with that. We're all just out here doing our best. Your child sees you. It's not about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes. It's just about showing up and loving them. And loving them will never equal failure. Now remember, guilt can also be a useful emotion. It can shape our future behaviors, help us live more in line with our values, and it can help put us on the path to self-accountability. You may feel lost, but you can show your child what resilience looks like. Create true connection with honesty. Let your child know, "I'm sad, and that's okay. You are not responsible for my feelings. I'm responsible for my feelings." And then go treat yourself with the same compassion you feel for your child. Be kind to yourself. That's your assignment. That's it for today. If you want to work more closely with me, visit directionafterdivorce.com, where our goal is to help you recover from your divorce, rediscover your self-worth, and repurpose your life. Until next time, take care.